March 19th, 2006. Waiting on a baby in Cleveland, you're listening to Video Game News Radio with your hosts, Kevin Baird,
Brian Baird,
and Don Anderson.
Tonight's background music is whatever, because I can't quite get everything to work right tonight, so you'll just have to try and figure it out.
Backmasking Black Sabbath or something?
Yeah, that's what it is. Tonight's topic, server crash. Sony announces all kinds of stuff. Xbox 360 review, King Kong. State Watch. PS2 review, Neopets, The Darkest Fairy. Top 20 titles of the week. Don and Brian's 5-minute movie review. Rumoured, the game Don didn't play this week. In brief, The Pirate's Cove. PSP Contest. Win a copy of Stargate, the extended version for the PSP. Wasteland Warrior Contest. Win a copy of Condemned for the Xbox 360. And Wasteland Warrior Contest, win a copy of the Perfect Dark Initial Vector novel. So, and our schizo letter bag. Yeah, I gotta.
No.
Damn.
It's gotta be a graphic novel, dude. Otherwise, nobody's gonna touch it.
You know, some people are into these kinds of books. I mean,
I know I read, but it's usually on like a cassette. You know, because you can't read when you're driving a truck.
Right.
Because it'd be fucked up.
I don't know.
Big old novel.
It's just like nonsense. All right, so Don, why don't you tell us what story is with the kid? Nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
The kid's never coming out.
Fuck you!
Kid's never
coming out.
Kid what?
Jesus Christ, the kid's never coming out. Hello.
Right.
Can you hear me?
I can't. Well, no. Brian keeps talking.
I'll shut up.
Jesus Christ. So, do you have any? Did they? You know, any day now? Any minute?
Any day now. Any minute. Exactly.
It's been another 3 weeks.
I mean, that's just the way. That's That's all they told us. I
mean, isn't it though? Like, if it doesn't happen within a certain amount of time, that they're like going to induce labor or something?
They said, from what I'm gathering, any time after the 1st of April.
They're just gonna punch her in the gut.
Anytime after the 1st of April, the baby can come out, or that's when they're going to induce?
Induce.
Really?
That would be the induction.
All right. Well,
maybe she's just really uptight, dude. You got to get her like really high.
Kid's going to be like 14 pounds and shit.
It's going to be 14 years old.
About that.
Yeah, 14. Yeah, exactly.
Little Donnie was 14, long hair. You Sabotage jeans jacket.
He's like,
what's up?
You got some clothes for me or what?
Got a frosty.
Little Donna.
Little Donna, yeah.
All right. So Sony had their big, I guess it was a press conference or something. It was more for from what I understand, for the people that they, their first party developers or whatever, all their developers. But of course the press was there, and they announced some things. There's a lot of specific things, like if you're not tuned in, this is one of those times when you'd probably want to go to a gaming site if you want all the specifics on it, because I'm not going to cover everything that they talked about. But basically, they said that the PlayStation 3 is going to be delayed until November.
Until whenever.
November, and with a worldwide launch. But the worldwide launch won't be simultaneous. It will be probably Japan first, and then
Russia.
In a couple of weeks, basically, they said maybe the United States, and then maybe Europe after that. But I mean, realistically, I think that it's going to be in Japan in November, and it's not going to make it to the United States. And if it does, you're not going to get one anyway. Because I think the inventory is going to be so limited. It's going to be like the Xbox 360 inventory.
Don't hold your breath.
Yes, don't hold your breath. You're going to get one in like March. They said
what was that thing in the Terminator that took Skynet? It's like Skynet, isn't it?
Right.
It's just like they're going to turn it on in November, and they turned it on November 1st at 12 o'clock, and at 12:01, everybody was dead.
Right, and the thing is it's like people are optimistic because they're saying, well, they're talking about making a million a month, which. Microsoft talked about making $1 million a month too, and they had a part shortage. And there's nothing to say that Sony's not going to have the same kinds of problems and the same sort of part shortages. I just feel that it's going to be, if they do make a Christmas launch, the inventories are still going to be thin, and you just don't expect it this year. I just think that it's going to be Sony's year next year. I don't think it's coming. I mean, maybe you'll see the Revolution this year, but I'm starting to think that's not going to come out until 2007 either. I think
they're probably going to have a test launch in New Guinea to see how people react.
I mean, they're probably going to do really well selling them in Japan. They'll sell out their inventory in Japan, so they're not going to have enough to get them over here. Because I can't see them breaking it up like Microsoft did and putting $1 million here and $1 million there and $1 million someplace else. They're probably just going to hand the Japanese $3 million, because that's kind of how Sony works, and they'll just wait. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, they also said that there's going to be a 60 gig hard drive for the PS3.
Sure.
But they said that they're not sure yet if it's included with the PS3 or if it is going to be an item that you have to buy. Because there may be other sizes. But the 60 gig is going to be the minimum, and it's expected that you'll have it. They haven't officially, although Yahoo Gaming News said that it would be coming with it. I'm not sure what that means exactly. So anyway, the point is you may have to buy the hard drive if you buy the PS3, but it doesn't make any sense. It should probably come with it. But who can understand all this craziness? Also, they have a new online service. Now this is pretty cool. For the PlayStation Portable, there's a price reduction coming for the PlayStation Portable. I don't know what it's coming down to. It's probably like $200. But they're introducing a new online service for it, and you can then play old PlayStation games that you can pay for or whatever online and download them directly to a memory card and play them on your PlayStation Portable. So, I mean, it's not like a lot of those PlayStation games are that great, but there's some pretty good RPGs and stuff that were out, like Final Fantasy VII and everything, that were out for the original PlayStation. And you'll be able to play them on the PSP via Wi-Fi on demand. You're like, I want a new game. You can just download it, get it. You're hooked up. That's pretty cool. So,
says you'll walk to the fucking rental store.
Well, you can't rent a PlayStation game and put it in your PSP. I mean, these are games that you can only get for your PSP. Yes, you could get them and play them on your PlayStation, but everybody's PlayStation by now is burned out because Sony manufacturing. Those things have an expiration date. I don't know, 50,000 revolutions or something, and then it just expires. How many PlayStations did you burn out, Anderson?
Like 4.
Yeah,
I burned out 1.
You had that one that you had to have upside down in order for it to work.
I had the one that had to go upside down, and then I had like 2 that you gave me.
Tape it to the ceiling?
Yeah, I should have.
Get the ladder, I gotta change the game. Jesus Christ. Yeah. The duct tape's getting fucking loose.
Dude, those things did, though. They burned out. I mean, they got a lot of use.
Oh, yeah.
But they burned out, man.
Turn them into bookends when you're done.
Right.
We use them a lot.
And the same with the PlayStation 2. It has a lot of, reading problems. People always have to turn the thing on its side in order to get it to load games properly.
Yeah, mine's the same way.
Yeah.
PS2.
So it's not unusual. Anyway.
Slapping around like a bad woman.
So, Sony didn't make the spring launch. Merrill Lynch was right about that. But bottom line is that you're not going to get one this year. Unless your dad's rich or you just manage to be one of the few lucky ones. I mean, there's still no
on a radio show.
There's still no real pre-orders that you can set up yet. It's just really kind of nobody knows if we're getting them this year or not. Sony probably gonna they haven't put down a firm release date for the United States yet, so retailers are scratching their heads. They don't know what to expect. Expect anything at all. So
it's in November, I don't know.
Until we actually get a street date, like an official Sony street date, don't expect it. You know what I mean? It's not going to be under your tree this year. Get a PSP, man. If you ain't got one, it's a good time to get one. The price is going to be dropped. There's new online service. There's a pretty good game selection. You probably already got a DS. So, I mean, Sony wants to push something this year. They should probably push the PSP. All right, anyway, I'm done talking about that. So, Xbox 360, I played that King Kong. Brian, you played that, right? On the
it was great.
PlayStation 2. It is a lot of fun.
Then you see the movie and you're like...
Well, I didn't see the movie, man.
You'll like it. It's great.
But the game
It's
is
the same movie.
the game is actually pretty fun. People say it's linear. It is linear, and
it's repetitive
and parts of it are kind of repetitive. But man, they really mix it up. And on the 360, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the graphics on the dinosaurs and King Kong, and you're swinging around doing stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the best part is when you are King Kong. I mean, the jungle, burning down the bushes, that's fun, But when you are King Kong,
how many first-person shooter games are there where you're throwing spears? You know what I mean? It's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, the game's fun. Some people say it's pretty easy and stuff. It's not that easy, but it's you could probably cut through it in a weekend if you're dedicated.